I bought the new Insta360 X6 camera that supports video recording in the lock profile. Let's see whether this lock profile feature will help us in fixing some of our dark, muddy scenes in our nature recordings. Let me explain what the problem is. So this is a continuation of the last video. In the last video, we spoke about the log profile, what it is, why is it called log? Log, by the way, stands for logarithm. It's a mathematical function that will increase the sensitivity of bright and dark areas. Um, uh, so please check my previous video for all the background on log profile. Today we will focus on actually using a log profile in Final Cut Pro on a real video. Now, why do we need log profile? Let me explain a example that I did this morning. Now I'm going to my folder here. There's a Gilman hike. There's a forest through the there's a hike through the Gilman forest that I did this morning. There's some couple of issues with it. So I took along my Insta360 X6 camera. Now, some parts of the hike were not so ideal. Okay, so beginning was quite okay. Everything was in bright sunlight, is all right. But as we got to some of the darker spots, the video turned kind of awful and messy. So, like for example, these dark areas. So we can see that the camera tends to uh, prefer bright areas, and dark areas tend to be quite messed up. Let me point you to another instance of a dark area. Okay, this is quite dark, right? So if I were to put this into my Instagram reel, for example, this won't look so great. That's why we need to do some adjustments, color grading, and hopefully the Insta360 lock mode, lock profile will help to fix this. The part that I'm interested is over here. So you can see that there's variation in the light and dark. For normal cameras shooting in normal color mode, it will not be able to decide, which is better, brighter or darker. The exposure settings keep changing. That's why we need more control. We need a file format that has got a lot more color detail, so we can do this kind of adjustment ourselves, right? But by default, cameras will automatically remove all that detail. It will assume that it knows what's best for us. It will try to tweak the settings to make it too dark, and then we'll lose out detail. Maybe we can focus on this part here. This part of forest is quite dark. There's actually a lot of detail in the trees. The ground and the soil and the branches and leaves and all that. But somehow the details are all lost. This all appears as one big dark mess here and here, right? Now there's a mode in the Insta360 X6 camera that will allow us to record in log profile. What do you mean by log profile? Here is the same clip that was recorded in log profile. You can see that yeah, it looks kind of different. Every colors are washed out, very desaturated, but this is what computers and editing software prefer. There is a lot more detail that's shown here, even though they are not quite pleasing to our eyes. The contrast is missing, the saturation is missing, but yet there's actually more detail here. So the idea is that we can manipulate this image using the tools in Final Cut Pro to bring out the kind of look that we really want. And we need to start it from this kind of footage that has got the original detail inside. Right? You can see down to the individual leaves on the ground. And that's what we'll focus on today. This is called recording in log profile. In Insta360 X6 camera, they call it the iLog mode. iLog stands for Insta360 log profile. So it's the Insta360 branded version of log profile. All the cameras will have their own versions of log profiles. The iPhone professional, iPhone Pros, they have their own log profile called Apple log. Then if you use Sony cameras, they have Sony log, Canon log, and so on. So even DJI have their own DJI log. They use different formulas for doing this kind of manipulation, right? But the idea is this. Professionals will tend to use a log profile because it preserves a lot more detail during recording. Then as we do editing, like in Final Cut Pro, we will be able to choose what kind of detail we want to bring up in the final video. And we can do a lot of adjustment ourselves. So today we'll go through those adjustments with Final Cut Pro. But how do we get here in the first place? So, okay, technically speaking, this is the video that I recorded in iLog. Then I use Insta360 Studio to produce this piece of video, right? So this color adjustment was actually done in Insta360 Studio. And if I'm not mistaken, it will look very similar to the normal color mode of videos recorded by Insta360 cameras. It's just that I kind of done it backwards. I recorded this video in the iLog profile, then I applied the color correction in Insta360 Studio. This is the video that I uploaded to YouTube for the 360 view. Let me show you how I got this. I recorded a video earlier today of me doing the export from Insta360 Studio. Let's go through the video. What we're looking at now are the files that we have copied from the Insta360 X6 video camera. So remember, the X6 video camera supports iLog profile for the highest resolution. That's we're talking about 8K resolution at 50 frames per second. On the older X5 camera, yes, it supports iLog profile, but only at specific lower resolutions, like 5.7K or something, right? And the iLog profile for the older cameras is only 8-bit. Only the Insta360 X6 supports 10-bit iLog profile, which means that it can handle a lot more colors. It will look a lot better. Now, just like the X5 camera and all the other Instagram cameras, we see that we have two files. So the VID file is a huge video data file. The RRV is just the low-res proxy. We will import the VID files into Insta360 Studio. So we launch Insta360 Studio and we import the VID files. We will click Create a Video. Make sure that the aspect ratio selected is 2:1, 360-degree panorama. We're going to edit our video in 360-degree mode because Final Cut Pro can do the the retargeting, the reorientation of our video clip. Let's select all the VID files from our Gilman Forest hike. We'll sort, then select VID. These are the files that contain the video data. We'll put them into our Insta360 Studio so that we can export them. Then click Open. Now, in a while, you'll see that the video files here are already in log format. They are desaturated, but they are perfect for editing because they capture a lot more detail than a normal color mode for Insta360 cameras. We're going to export in two formats. We're going to export as individual clips that we can edit in Final Cut Pro. These are individual 360-degree clips in MP4 format. Then we are also going to edit, we're going to export into one huge MP4 file that we can upload to YouTube for the 360-degree viewing experience that will work with the virtual reality glasses. Yeah. So you can see that these are clips that we have imported. We just simply drag them into our timeline. Then I'm going to zoom in and look at the clips closely. So you can see here that the color is already desaturated. This is the log format. It looks ugly. It doesn't look right to the eye, but in fact, all the detail is there. We just need to tweak it, apply the right kind of color lookup tables, the color adjustments, and we will bring back the original colors. Well, we'll bring back the colors that look pleasing to us, the right kind of greens and yellow and all that. For right now, we're all editing in log format because log format is the preferred computer source format that has got a lot more detail that the eye doesn't appreciate. Now, we are now going into this video to see the clips. I mentioned that we're going to export this into a one long continuous clip for YouTube so that we can view this in 360-degree mode, right? So that's why it's important that we make sure that all the sequences are there. So it's BID 03, 04, 05, 6, 7, up to 10. Any files are missing, it will give a very disjointed viewing experience on YouTube. Now we're ready to export. even though it looks desaturated. We're going to export firstly as multiple clips. These are the clips that we will edit in Final Cut Pro and touch up the colors. All right, just give it a file name. Let's say Gilman Forest. It will name this files like that. Resolution, we will keep it. Make sure multiple clips. That means it will be one clip per video. Resolution, we keep it as 8K. Bit rate, turn it to the max 200. Notice that frame rate is 50 frames per second. And we are now using the Rec 709 10-bit format. So this is a color format that's specified by the ITU official standards. You can check my previous video. I explained what's Rec 709. Rec stands for recommendation. So it's an ITU-R recommendation by the International Telecommunication Union. We're looking at 10-bit color. We could have supported few colors. There is in addition to 10-bit, there is also a 8-bit setting. But 8-bit is for older cameras. For example, Insta360 X6, they support 8-bit colors for Rec 709. We are now using more colors now for X6, because it supports 10-bit color, right? And now we can export. So this will export multiple clips. For every single file that we saw earlier on, every single VID file, it will export as one MP4 file in this equi-rectangular format, 360-degree format that we can edit in Final Cut Pro. Notice that the color is still desaturated. This is the log format. Now we will do some tweaks to make it work for YouTube. This will not work on YouTube because YouTube needs to have a color adjustment all properly provided. That's why we need to go into this thing called the imaging tab on the right side. Then click on imaging. And then we can see the LUT. LUT stands for lookup table. This is the way we convert a log profile, like eye log, into the normal colors that our eyes are visible. So right now, you see that everything is all ugly and desaturated. Watch what happens when we click LUT. See the difference? Everything is all nice and vivid now. The saturation is back. The contrast is back. This is what our eyes are used to, right? So compare again. Before that, it was, before clicking, it was pretty dull and saturated. After clicking, nice. See, before and after. Yeah. But you can see the difference now. So you can see that in the log format, even though it's ugly and desaturated, there are some details up here, like in the trees. You can see that there are different shades of green and black, maybe gray. But when it goes into a pleasing mode with LUT, it now turns all into black. Yeah, this explains why we prefer to edit in iLog format, in the log format. Professionals prefer it because it's got a lot more detail. We can do more adjustments depending on whether it's light or dark. But once you convert into our the final visible LUT format, it will look squash, compressed. We will see that bright colors will tend to get washed out. Dark colors will tend to get meshed out as black. It becomes a bit harder to edit because we cannot recover the original colors, right? Yeah, so therefore today's exercise in editing in our original format. Okay, but for now we are exporting to YouTube. That's why we select LUT, and then this will create a clip that we can export to YouTube. Now, I made a mistake. I selected only one clip, and then I just went ahead and exported. This is not correct. What we should do is that we need to go on and do it for every single clip here. I discovered that the hard way. And this is how we do it. So we've done it for one clip, right? The rightmost clip. Well, we need to backtrack and do the same thing for all the other clips. So let's see how we do that. Unfortunately, I don't see an easy way to highlight everything and then do the LUT adjustment in the lookup table. Okay, notice that the image icon is missing. Okay, so somehow I'm missing something. I'm not sure quite why. I'm not sure why it's happening. But for now, the workaround is to do it for every single clip. Yeah. So in a while we see that we're doing this for one. So the right click has been done. The right click. Okay. We have set the LUT, the lookup table, to do the translation. Now we need to do it for the rest. Okay, so now we have to turn it on. Okay, go to next one, turn it on. Yeah, there you go. I haven't found the easy way to do this across all the clips. We have to do it one by one. Maybe I should just copy and paste the settings if Insta360 desktop allows it. But for now, I just do it one by one. Yeah. So to make sure that everything looks okay. Yeah. Yeah. Now we have applied the LUT settings lookup table for all the clips. So let's go scan through one more time and make sure that everything looks okay. So far everything looks good. Even though the darker grays have been squashed and compressed into black, and the sky appears to white. But this is good enough for ordinary viewing on YouTube. Now we're going to export. Now we're going to export as one single clip, and we're going to call it long.mp4 because it's a long clip. We're going to use export as a single clip because it's for YouTube. Resolution is 8K as according to source. Push it up to the highest bit rate, 50 frames per second, 10-bit color. Then export. This will create one huge MP4 file that we can import into YouTube. Yeah. So long.mp4 is the file that we saw earlier on. This one. Here. Right. Long.mp4 is the file that was exported for Insta360 Studio. And this is the one that we were looking at earlier on. The one with the the very dark colors. A lot of things have been pushed to become black. But this looks okay for casual viewing. If you are just walking through the forest, this looks good. But however, it'd be ideal if you can recover some of the detail here. Let's look into doing this with Final Cut Pro. So this is the video that we uploaded to YouTube. So notice that we applied the color lookup table, LUT, that will convert the log format into nicely looking visible colors, right? Now, moving ahead, we're going to do the editing of the original files in log profile. That means, without this nice saturated colors. Remember early on in Insta360, we exported each video clip as a separate MP4 file, but without the LUT, without the color lookup translation. Well, we have them here now. This is Final Cut Pro. We have imported everything into Final Cut Pro by dragging clips in there. We actually renamed the files according to timestamp. If you're curious how we renamed it, we actually use a spreadsheet because that's the quickest way to do it. The original file names have got timestamp, but then Insta360 Studio gave us boring file names, like clip 1 to clip 8. So we came up with a command in Google Sheet that will do a renaming back to the original date timestamp. Right. So I ran this. That will create a bunch of files that we import into Final Cut Pro. And here it is. Now I'm picking up the interesting part. Like I mentioned, this part of the video was quite dark in the in the color graded video. In Insta360 Studio, we applied the LUT, the lookup table, and it became quite dark for the parts in the forest. Well, let's try and do this again in Final Cut Pro, but with our own kind of adjustment. Now, if you look at the clip that we have selected, so I selected the dark part and drag it into a timeline, and then I did the reframing, right? So I turned the orientation in terms of the tilt, the pan, and the roll to make even a field of view to point it towards the interesting parts. Now, so we can see here that okay, maybe to make this easier, I'll pan over to the forest so you can see that the parts that we missed out. Okay, this looks kind of dark. So in our original video, we see that the video that we have exported for YouTube, we see that this part was quite dark, quite black. Next, flip over. Yeah, here. So the lot of detail was lost. Everything turned out to be quite dark. Can we improve this part here so that it looks better? And it doesn't look like a big, huge black mess. So let's try it. So this is the log format that we exported from Insta360 Studio without any color translation. This is the raw data, the raw video. Already you can see that there is detail in the video. Just that the colors saturating are not quite correct. They're not quite pleasant to the eye. Now, so let's do the color translation in Final Cut Pro. To do that, we need to load in the color lookup table. In the last video, I talked about the color lookup table that we exported, that we downloaded from Insta360. So if you go to the Insta360, yes, there are instructions to turn on the lock mode, for Insta360 X6 camera. But then we also need to apply the right kind of color lookup in our editing software. To do that, you just search for Insta360 iLock LUTs. LUT stands for lookup table. So it's a three-dimensional lookup table that will, translate red, green, and blue into a specific color that looks pleasant. How do we get this? Is that if you look at the documentation below, there's a white paper. It explains the formula. Yeah. So that and here's the formula. So if you convert a scene reflection from 0%, which is black, up to 2,200%, which is a bright glowing color, it will translate to a 10-bit color from 93 to 1023. And the way they do it is that they will use a log function, a logarithm function, which is why it's called a log profile, because log profile actually means a logarithmic profile. It's a log function that's being used to do this conversion. And this conversion is good for using a log function because you can see that very dark grays and shadows will be converted to a appropriate value. Very bright, really bright light sources, like looking at the sun, will also be converted into nice, reasonable 10-bit values. That's why it's able to represent a huge range of values, which is good for what they call doing dynamic images, dynamic video, so that we can see more colors in there. And which is what we're trying to do. We're trying to cover more of the dark areas. And this log function helps. Right. So on this page where we are searching for the Insta360 iLog, you will find a link to download the LUTs. This one, X6 LUT. When we download, we will get a whole bunch of files, which I've copied here. Date modified. Okay. There you go. X6 iLog LUTs. When you download a zip file and expand it, you get these files. There are a few files in there. Firstly, there's a difference between Rec 709 and Rec 2020. Rec 709, as I've explained, is it's a recommendation by the International Telecommunication Union. It's a standard for representing colors for broadcast, for high definition TV programs. This is the older standard. The newer standard is Rec 2020, right? However, the Rec 2020 is not well supported in Instagram Reels. If you use Rec 2020, it will convert itself to Rec 709, which might have bad consequences, right? So why is it doing that? Because Rec 2020 has got more colors. You see this pink triangle? It can represent more colors than the older Rec 709 standard, which is this yellow triangle here. So therefore, we don't want Instagram to convert our colors for us. We want to do it ourselves, make sure that everything's okay. That's why our videos are, edited using the Rec 709 standard. We control the colors so that Instagram will faithfully reproduce the colors that we have selected. That is why we are going to use Rec 709 instead of Rec 2020, even though it's an older standard. Now, why are there two versions of Rec 709? There's a S33 and X65. Well, as I mentioned in my last video, S73 and S65, the difference is that the lookup table. We are dealing with a 3D lookup table, but how many points in the lookup table? Well, we can choose the simpler one, which is 33 by 33 by 33 points in this 3D lookup table. Or we can choose the more sophisticated one, 65 by 65 by 65. Obviously, this one will require more computing resources, but it also gives us better quality because it's more accurate. That's why for today, we'll be using the Rec 709 S65 lookup table for converting the videos from the iLog profile to visible colors. And this is a cube format. What's inside a .cube format? Well, it's just a plain text file, right? It tells us that given this RGB values, what is the outcome of that translation? This is a translated RGB values. So it's just a one huge lookup file that has 275,000 rows. Yeah, it's just a simple text file. Okay, so that's a lot of the discussion about this. I actually explained more about this in the last video, so please check my last video for details about the log profile and why we're using this .cube files. Okay, so this is the one we use. How do we use it in Final Cut Pro? Let's head back to our video. This is the video that we want to do color grading. We want to restore the colors that have been squashed out by our camera. To do that, we need to turn on the effects. So there's an effect button here that shows the effects browser. We need to search, click on all video and audio and search for LUT, lookup table. And then we will apply the custom LUT, drag it into our clip here. What LUT will we use is that, let's go and show here. Show. No, come on, not that. Show. Okay, there you go. LUT is going to be choose custom LUT. Then we'll load in the LUT that we have downloaded from Insta360 website. We will see it here, iLog LUT. And like you said, we will choose Rec 709 S65 because it works better with Instagram and it looks better. Just open. Yeah. So yeah, don't worry about it. Then we can just select it here. There you go. So colors are back. So now it looks exactly the same as the our long video that we uploaded to YouTube. Now we have this very dark crushing colors. Let's apply some color correction. Okay. Now the thing is this. Okay, I think it gets complicated with 360-degree video because we are actually dragging a piece of 360-degree video and reformatting it as a vertical video. When we apply any kind of color adjustment, I'm not sure whether it's actually doing it for the whole 360-degree clip or whether it's just doing for the vertical format. Yeah, but so to be really sure, I'm going to be very specific about it. Okay, let's undo this LUT. So now we're back to the log profile. I'm going to create a sub clip, a new compound clip. In Premiere Pro, we call it a sequence or subsequence, right? Okay, fine. Let's just call it Reel 1 for now. So this is a compound clip or a subsequence in Premiere Pro terminology that has got the format that we want. If we look at this reel here, information. Okay. See this reel 1, we look at the video properties. It's in vertical 4K mode. Okay, why don't we do the same thing? If we go back to the earlier video, reel 1, no, not this one. If I want to go for this one, I click on this. Okay, so this also says it's a vertical 4K, but no worries. To be really sure, let's go ahead and click reel 1, and then we will edit this video. So this reel 1 is already in the vertical 4K format. So that means I could apply my settings directly on top of this vertical 4K clip. Okay, that's interesting. So okay, yeah. So we can the other way that we can apply a lookup table LUT is here. So if you click on a direct clip in the inspector, it will tell you that. Okay, I'm a bit confused. Let's go back here. If I go into Reel and I click on this clip here, yeah, it's telling me that it's 8K format actually. It's 8K horizontal. That means it's a equi-rectangular projection of our 360-degree video. If I go into this Reel here, see the difference? Now it's actually a vertical 4K video, which is what we want. We want to apply our color correction to a vertical 4K video, not to the entire 8K 360-degree video. That's too much. because the 360-degree video is showing everything. It's got other parts in it which we are not it's not visible to us, and yet it's doing color grading based on that. Yeah, I'll explain why. So therefore, it makes more sense to do a color grading on only a vertical 4K video. The particular section that we are oriented towards, we're zooming towards, we don't care about the other parts. The other thing that was interesting was that when we go back to the original reel, okay, let's go into when we go into the human forest with the original source files and we click on the source video, you can see that it also supports a camera LUT function. So meaning that I could have selected my custom LUT here to do the conversion. So I can do a Rec 709 S35. Yeah, see it does the same thing. But the difference here is that okay, from what I hear from other YouTubers, if you do this in the camera LUT and then you apply some color adjustments after that, the color adjustments will always apply after the camera LUT, the camera lookup table. The right way to do it is that we should apply color adjustments before the camera LUT. Reason for that is that after you apply the camera LUT, everything is all compressed. Your whites become whiter, your blacks, your grays become darker, become black. So therefore, when we do color adjustment on a image that's already too white and too dark, it doesn't make sense. You lose the detail. Therefore, when we do any kind of color grading, careful adjustments to see more detail in the forest, for example, we should always do the fine-tuned color adjustment on the original log profile clip before any LUT was applied, right? For that reason, a lot of YouTubers recommend that we do not use the camera LUT because camera LUT is always applied first, followed by the manual adjustments. We don't want that. Later on, we'll see that there's actually a way to select which order to apply the adjustments, and we can select that I want to apply my own custom adjustments first before we apply the camera LUT. So we always use camera LUT to none. Yeah, for some reason, yeah, it's a pain. So it means that I need to do this for every single clip that I edit, right? Hopefully someday they can fix this, but for now, always leave a camera LUT to none, and then we'll do the adjustments ourselves. Okay, let's head back. So just now we're editing our reel, which is here, and we have created a compound clip. The compound clip is already in the right format. It's a vertical 4K format. We are not concerned with the rest. Our compound clip has helpfully reframed the video into vertical 4K, and then we'll do color adjustment only on that section of vertical 4K, not the whole video. I think this logically it sounds the right way to do it, but let's try it. So we do the same thing. We go to effects, look for all video and audio effects, type in LUT, we will see custom LUT. Then we will drag this custom LUT into our clip. Now, when we go into the video effects, yeah, we can see the custom LUT here. So then we can select the lookup table for our Insta360 camera. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out, does it look different? Is there more detail? Sheesh. Okay. It's hard for me to see what's going on. Maybe I could compare. Suppose I make a copy of real one. So I'm going to copy and paste it. Okay, fine. I'm just going to do a real and duplicate the project as real 2. Inside real 2, I'm going to use the LUT without creating compound clip. Let's see whether it makes a difference. So I'll delete this, go back to my human forest, drag my clip into here. I want to replace it, yes. And then I will do, the trouble is that framing is off. Okay, let's redo the framing. The framing comes from real, okay. This clip is a bit too long. Let's just cut it down to 10 seconds. just to be fair, although technically it doesn't matter. Okay, it's about 10 seconds. Let's copy in the framing from the other reel. So over here we have the orientation all applied. So I'm just going to right click, copy, edit, copy. Then I'm going to go into my reel 2, which has the original clip, see, given for us, not the compound clip. And I'm going to paste the attributes over. Paste attributes. So it's going to copy the orientation so that it will point the right way in front. Okay, just maintain. I'm trying to figure out the color grading. Why isn't it copying it? But okay, let's paste it. Okay, good. So let's compare to we are now roughly at same point 143. Okay, for why is it gone dark? Okay, that's interesting. Why has my reel gone black? If I go into reel, is it back? Reel? Yeah, this is a bit wonky. Why is it gone dark? If I expand this, is this the bug? Why did it go black? Okay, I'm going to quit Final Cut Pro. This is a bit odd. We're not supposed to see this. For some reason, our reel has gone black. And I don't see why it's gone black when we didn't change anything. Okay, let's relaunch Final Cut Pro. And hopefully the colors will come back. Okay, seems okay, I think. Okay, good. Our reel is back. So we're looking at around, okay, the 2-second mark. Okay, so the color is back. Things look okay. Then we created, so this is based on a compound clip. Then we look at reel 2, which is using the original clip, but okay, but using the original clip from exported from Insta360 Studio, with the lock profile enabled. Yeah. So now, okay, so now this is all lock profile. I can apply the LUT here. To do that, I will do a all video and audio filter effects, search for LUT, drag it in here. The LUT I'll use is the same one. And then let's compare the quality. Any difference? This is 210, 210. Okay, I'm not sure why the points are different. 207. Full screen. It looks about the same. Reel 2, full screen. Yeah, it looks about the same. Yeah, I'm not sure why. Yeah, so I have a hunch that if I use the original clip inside the reel, it will apply the LUT to the whole thing, which will be different. Okay, maybe once we do the color adjustment, it'll be different. Okay, so our point is this. We're trying to improve the the look of this section of the video. Maybe this is a bit too dark for liking. We want to improve the brightness of this. One way to do it is that we can do some color adjustment. And Final Cut Pro has a way to do it. If you click this icon here, and you can say enhance light and color, right? So let me just make sure that it's selected. Then enhance light and color. So has it really helped? If we go back to effects, so we can turn it on off. So this is on, this is off. Actually, with the color adjustment, it's gone darker. Yeah. So unfortunately, this is the automatic color adjustment. It's not doing great. It's not giving our desired effect. It's making it worse. We wanted to see more detail, but it kind of turned darker and give us less detail. Although the color adjustment makes it look nicer, everything is all greener than than before. But we want more detail. So let's undo this. Uh, can I delete this? Don't do that. Undo. Okay, I can't find a way to delete this, but let's just leave it in for now. Okay. Let's do our own adjustment. Suppose we want to tweak this to make this look a bit brighter. Let's do a color adjustment. Okay, so from what I read from the other YouTubers, we can use things like color wheels to do the adjustment, right? Okay, and okay, let's go back. Now, and like I said earlier, we want to apply our color adjustment, our color wheels, before applying the LUT. So we are looking at manipulating the original image before we apply the color lookup. That's because when we apply the color lookup first, if we move this up, all the effects will apply from top to bottom, right? If we were to do the custom LUT first, it means that it will crush all the colors, the blacks and the whites. Then when we try to do the color adjustment or the color wheels, it will have nothing to work with. The original quality, the original colors are all gone. That's why we should always do our color adjustment, our color wheels on top before the custom LUT. Okay. Now let's go and tweak this color wheel here. Okay, so now we can change things. Suppose I want to make this dark portion brighter. Okay, this is new to me, so I'm trying to figure out how to do it. Should I increase the shadows? Okay, that will. Yeah, so this is kind of what we want. We want to show more detail in the shadows. Highlights will, I believe, will make things brighter or darker. We probably shouldn't touch this. Global, no, don't think so. Yeah, so the shadows are the parts that we need to manipulate. So now I do this, I can see more detail in there. And what is this? Okay, I'm not sure why there's a left side thing. Midtones, not really, no. So we are concerned about revealing more details in the shadow. That's why we are doing this. Yeah. One thing I also learned from the other YouTubers is that we can monitor the color levels of this to make sure that we are not doing too much of this manipulation and losing colors. The way to do it is to do a view video scope. Okay, let's just hide this for now. Yeah, there you go. Okay, let's look at the original setting. So if we don't apply the color wheels, you see that okay. So we also look at the range of colors, the brightness. So yeah, so 0 is this black, I guess, and up to 100. So it's the range is good. We without our color adjustment, we can see the good range of colors. But after our adjustment, we are kind of crushing this part here. We are losing detail. Our blacks are now gone. It's we kind of raise the overall brightness to this level. And I wonder if our tops, you see the white lines on top. So I'm concerned also that we're pushing our colors too bright. Actually, not that much. Yeah. So in our original video, there's only so much brightness. Okay, that's this. The other thing we should do is that let's disable the LUT because I think the LUT complicates things. Let's disable it. Disable it. Yeah, so you see that what we did was that without our color wheel, this is the range of the you know the kind of the brightness that we see in the video. You know, from 60%, okay, up to 85%. But now when we apply our color wheel, you see the shift. We are now making we're kind of crushing the bottom. We have now removed we are now compressing the brightness so that all the dark parts are now becoming brighter. Yeah. So in truth, we are losing some detail. Okay, but the thing is that this is what we want. We want to show some of the dark details, and that's why we are doing this color wheel. So maybe that's okay, even though we are losing some detail on this dark side here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is our color adjustment. If we play this back, let's see how it looks like. So overall, it's a brighter experience. We can see a lot more detail now, and I think this is good. And this really shows us the power of the log format. Because if we don't have the log format, everything becomes a muddled mess. Everything becomes either too bright or too dark. But now that we are capturing in the log format, the log profile, we can now do all these tweaks to recover the original color detail that was in the video that we shot, right? Okay, so I'll be doing more editing and doing more of these tweaks in our video, so that we can do the color grading correctly and make sure that we show lots of detail. Otherwise, every time becomes a gray mess. One last thing that I might want to experiment. Okay, I'm going to turn off um the video scope for now. I'm going to bring back to our browser. Remember that we have a Reel 2. So Reel 2, we applied things to the original. We're applying our effect to the original clip, not a compound clip. How is that different? So let's do a color wheel here also. So if we apply a color wheel, it will be through this. We are going to apply a color wheel. Okay. Next, make sure that everything is nicely arranged. Color wheel should always come before the LUT. Then we can edit our color wheel. Switch back to here. We improve the shadows a bit. How is this different from the other one? If I do a reel, the color view value is somewhere at 1/3. Go back to Reel 2. Is it any different? Reel 2, Reel, Reel, come on. Okay, I'm trying to understand why it's different. See, it looks a bit different. The first reel has got this. The second reel has got this. Why is the second one darker? Are we looking at the same color adjustments? So it's color wheel, then custom LUT. Reel, it's color wheels, custom LUT. Color wheels. Yeah, so it's a bit odd. I don't quite understand why this is happening. But yeah, that's why I prefer to apply the color adjustment on a compound clip. Our compound clip is already known to be in the right the compound clip is already known to be in the right format. This is a vertical 4K video. So therefore, when we apply any adjustment, it's to that particular 4K vertical, that vertical format. It's not to the entire 8K clip. And it seems that Final Cut Pro is actually treating it a bit differently. Whether we're using the 4K compound clip or whether we're using the 8K original clip. Yeah, so I can't explain why, but given that it handles things differently, so I to be consistent, I will make sure that I will apply this color adjustment only to compound clips. So I will create a compound clip, make sure that everything conforms to the vertical 4K format, and then I will do the color adjustment, color wheel or color adjustment. Then I will apply the custom LUT, our lookup table that will convert from iLog to to Rec 709. So remember that the sequence is always from top to bottom. It will apply the color wheels first, followed by the custom LUT. We always do it in that sequence. not the other sequence. That's because we want to apply our color adjustment to the full range of colors in the original video before we crush some of the colors with LUT and makes things a bit, too dark or too bright. Yeah, so that's good. It looks promising. So we are not able to recover a lot of detail in our video, which is probably not possible with the Insta360 X5. Insta360 X5 has got iLog, but it's limited. It's only got 8-bit iLog format, and it doesn't work for the highest resolution 8K videos. With the new Insta360 X6 camera, which I'm using now, it allows us to apply iLog format to the entire clip in full resolution 8K. And that's why we're able to recover a lot of this detail that we lost with X5. Yeah, and of course, also the frame rate helps. X6 will record at 50 frames per second. X5 will record at only 30 frames per second at 8K resolution. Yeah, so this is a good start. And this is important to me because I'm now recording archival footage. As I'm going around, Maju Forest or Gilman Forest, maybe to other places. So it's important for me that I record my scenery in the best color, the best resolution possible, so that I can do this kind of tweaking, and archive it in a way that looks correct, instead of everything crushing into all blacks or all whites. And this is good. Yeah. So thank you for listening to my live stream. Next video, I will actually use it in practice. I'll start editing the videos or running videos for the Singapore frontrunners. I will record everything from now on in log format. And then, yes, it seems quite painful. We need to do the custom LUT to do the, to restore colors. And also we need to do some color adjustment. But I think this is better for the future. Professional videographers, they will use, log format, like in Apple log format. We should probably do the same, because otherwise we'll lose a lot of detail, we'll lose a lot of colors, and our videos won't look so nice. And this is what we want to achieve with our videos, more detail and suitable for archival. So thank you so much. I'll put the link to the next video in the video description. Join me there. Thank you. Bye.